Hello everyone, Kid here, back with another video. Today for you guys I'm back with part 5 of reading the 613 laws of Yahweh. Once again, I'll leave a link to this down in the description box below, along with our email. You can email us at themons@gmail.com for our call station. Without further ado, let me get right into it. Version 87. The God-worshipping nations who utterly refuse to repent will suffer destruction. Deuteronomy 20/17. You must utterly and completely destroy them. The Hittite, the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Esabite, just as Yahweh your Father has commanded you. 188. Blot out the remembrance of God worshippers. Deuteronomy 25/19. Therefore Yahweh your Father has given you rest from your enemies all around you, and the land Yahweh your Father is giving you to possess as inheritance. Then blot out the remembrance, memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget this. 189. Remember the curses that God worship brought to Israel. Deuteronomy 25/17. Remember what the Amalekites did to you on the way as you were coming out of Egypt. Amalek met you on your journey and attacked all the stragglers in the rear rank when you were tired and weary. Amalek did not reverence Yahweh. 12. Laws concerning times of tribulation and persecution. 12. Laws concerning times of tribulation and persecution. 190. Our conduct must be according to the law of Yahweh during times of persecution. Deuteronomy 20/11. If they accept your offer of peace and open their gates to you, all the people in it shall be subject to forced labor and shall work for you. But if the city will not make peace with you, but would engage you in battle, then you shall besiege it. 191. The priests must address the congregation in times of tribulation. Deuteronomy 20/2. When you are about to go into battle, the priest shall come forward and address the men of war, and he shall say to them, Hear, O Israel, today you are going into battle against your enemies. Do not be faint-hearted. Do not be afraid. Do not tremble nor be terrified because of them. For Yahweh your Father is He who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies and gives you victory. 192. The camp of Yahweh must be kept in a sedentary condition. Deuteronomy 23/9. When you are encamped against your enemies, keep yourself from every impure thing. 193. The camp of Yahweh must be equipped with the necessary implements to keep it in a sanitary condition, and each must do his part. Deuteronomy 23/12. Designate a place outside the camp where you may go relieve yourself. As part of your equipment, have something to dig with. Then when you do relieve yourself, first dig a hole and afterwards cover up your excrement. For Yahweh your Father moves about in the midst of your camp to protect you and give your enemies over to you. Therefore your camp must be holy, so you may see no unclean thing among you and turn away from you. 13. Our duties to our fellow man. 194. Stolen property must be returned to its owner. Leviticus 6/2. If a person sins and commits a trespass against Yahweh by lying to his brother about what was delivered to him for safekeeping, or about a pledge, or about a robbery, or if he has deceived and extorted from his brother, or if he has found out what was lost and lies concerning it, or vows falsely in any one of these things a man may do, sinning, then it shall be because he has sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore what he has stolen, or the thing which he has deceitfully obtained, or what was delivered to him for safekeeping, or the lost thing in which he found. For all that he has vowed falsely about, he shall restore its full value, adding 1/5 more to it, and giving it to whomever it belongs on the day of his trespass offering. 195. The poor must be taken care of according to the laws of Yahweh. Deuteronomy 15/8. You must be open-handed to him and willingly lend him enough of whatever he needs. But the poor will never cease from the land. Therefore I command you, saying, You shall open wide your hand you shall open wide your hand to your poor and needy brother in hand. 196. When a Hebrew slave goes free, the owner must give them gifts. Deuteronomy 15/12. If your brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, sells himself to you or is sold to you, and serves you 6 years, then in the 7th year you must let him go free from you. And when he is released from you, you must not let him go away empty-handed. You must supply him liberally from your flock, from your threshing floor, and from your winepress. What Yahweh has blessed you with, you are to give to him. It must not seem like a hardship to you when you set him free from you, for he has been worth twice as much of that as a hired hand 6 years. Then Yahweh your Father will bless you in all that you do. 187. Loans to brothers must be without interest. Exodus 22/25. If you lend money to one of my people among you who is needy, do not be like a moneylender. Charge him no interest. 198. Loans to a foreigner may be with interest. Deuteronomy 23/20. You may charge interest to a foreigner, but to your brother you must not charge interest, so that Yahweh your Father may bless you in all that you set your hand to do, in the land you are entering to possess. 189. Restore a pledge for a loan to its owner if he needs it. Deuteronomy 24/12. If the man is poor, you must not hold his cloak security overnight. You must, in his case, return his cloak to him before the sun goes down, so he may sleep in his own garment. Then he will bless you, and it shall be accounted to you as righteousness in front of Yahweh your Father. 200. Pay the hired worker his wages at the agreed time. Deuteronomy 24/14. Do not take advantage of a hired man who is poor and needy, whether one of your brothers or one of the strangers living in your cities. Pay him his wages each day before sunset, because he is poor and is counting on it. Otherwise, he just might cry out to Yahweh against you, and you will be guilty of sin. 201. Permit the poor to eat the produce of the vineyard or the standing grain. Deuteronomy 23/24. When you enter into your brother's vineyard, you may eat all the grapes you please, but you must not put any in a container. When you enter into your brother's standing grain, you may pick kernels with your hands, but you must not put a sickle to his standing grain. 202. Help a stranger who has a fallen animal. Exodus 23/5. If you see the donkey of someone who hates you lying under his burden, and you might refrain from helping it, you shall surely help him with it. 203. Help a brother who has a fallen animal. Deuteronomy 22/4. You shall not see your brother's donkey or his ox fallen on the road and ignore it. Be sure to help it to get it to its feet. 204. Lost property must be restored to its owner. Deuteronomy 22/1. You shall not see your brother's ox or his sheep straying away and ignore it. Be sure to take it back to your brother. 205. Those who sin must be corrected. Leviticus 19/17. You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart. Rebuke your brother or your sister frankly, so you will not share in his or her guilt. 206. Love your neighbor, whether a brother or an enemy, as yourself. Leviticus 19/18. Do not seek revenge nor bear a grudge against one of your own people, but you shall love your brother or your sister as yourself. I am Yahweh. 207. Love the stranger and the new convert among you. Leviticus 19/34. The stranger living with you must be treated as one of your native born, and you shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am Yahweh. 208. Use only honest weights and measures. Leviticus 19/36. You shall have honest balances, honest weights, an honest epitah, a dry measure, and an honest hin, a liquid measure. I am Yahweh your Father, who has brought you out of the land of Egypt. 14. Family. 209. Show honor and respect for the appointed teachers of Yahweh and for the gray-headed. Leviticus 19/32. You shall stand up before the gray-headed, and you shall honor the presence of an elder or teacher, thereby giving reverence to your heavenly Father. I am Yahweh. 210. Show honor and respect to parents. Exodus 20/12. Honor your father and mother, so your days may be long upon the land which Yahweh your Father is giving you. 211. Become holy as Yahweh is holy. Leviticus 19/2. Speak to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say to them, You shall be holy, for I, Yahweh, your heavenly Father, am holy. 212. Bring forth the holy seed, the 144,000 holy priesthood promised to Abraham. Then Yahweh said, I will make man in my image, according to my likeness, and they will have rulership over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, and over all the earth, over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So Yahweh created man in his own image. In the image of Yahweh he created the man. Then he created the woman from the man. Then Yahweh blessed him, and Yahweh said to him, Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have rulership over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and every living thing that moves on the earth. 213. Marriage must be according to the laws of Yahweh. Genesis 2/24. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall be united to his wives in his own house, and they will therefore be as one family. 214. A bridegroom is to rejoice with his bride. Deuteronomy 24/5. If a man has become recently married, he must not be sent to war or be charged with any other duty, but he shall be set free at home 1 year to bring joyfulness to his wife he has married. 216. Should a man die childless, his brother must either marry the widow or Deuteronomy 25/5. If brothers are living together, and one of them dies without a son, his widow must now marry outside the family. Her husband's brother must take her and marry her to perform the duty of a brother-in-law to her. The first son she bears shall carry on the name of the dead brother, so his name will not be blotted out from Israel. 217. He may release the brother's widow. Deuteronomy 25/7. But if a man does not want to marry his brother's wife, she shall go out to the elders at the city gate and say, My husband's brother refuses to carry on his brother's name in Israel. He would not perform the duty of a brother-in-law to me. Then the elders of the city shall summon him and talk to him. If he stands firm and says, I do not want to marry her, then his brother's widow shall go up to him in the presence of the elders, take off one of his sandals, spit in his face, and say, This is what is done to the man who will not build up his brother's house. Then his name in Israel shall be called the house of him who had his sandal removed. 222. Divorce can only be on account of fornication, God worship. Deuteronomy 24/1. When a man marries a woman who becomes displeasing to him, because he finds some uncleanness in her, and he writes her a certificate of divorce, gives it to her, and sends her from his house, and if after she leaves his house, she becomes a wife of another man, and then that man also detests her, and writes her the certificate of divorce, gives it to her, and sends her from his house, or that man dies, leaving her a widow, then her first husband who divorced her must not take her back to be his wife, after she has been defiled. That is an abomination in front of Yahweh, and he must not bring sin upon the land which Yahweh your Father is giving to you as inheritance. 223. A woman suspected of adultery must not submit to the required test. Numbers 5/12. Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, If any man's wife goes astray and behaves unfaithfully toward him by sleeping with another man, and this is hidden from her husband, and her impurity undetected, since there was no witness against her, nor was she caught in the act, and if the spirit of jealousy comes over her husband, and he suspects his wife, and she is impure, or if he is jealous and suspects her even though she is not impure, then the man shall bring his wife to the priest. He shall also bring the offering required for her, 1/10 of ephah of barley meal. That is probably about 2 quarts. He shall pour no oil on it, and put no frankincense on it, because it is a grain offering of jealousy, an offering of remembrance for bringing sin to remembrance. Alright, I'm ending off here. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Once again, I'll leave a link just down in the description box below, along with email. You can email us at themonks@gmail.com for private conversation. I'll see you guys next video. Have a nice day.